Hey guys, of course we're in Rome today, so I thought I would let you guys know what's going on today. You will actually be taking notes on this video, and after you get finished with this video, this should give you a good idea of what we're going to go into tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and start by talking about complementary and supplementary angles. We've visited these already, but what's most important though about this is now we're going to add the geometry into it. So if you will, on your paper, if you'll draw a line, and we're just going to create us an angle. We're going to start off with supplementary. So what do we know about supplementary? Well, we know that supplementary, we talked about this before, and we said, hey, that's what's up. Remember about the 180 degrees. So what's important to know is that we know that this angle, I'm just going to call it angle 1 for now, and this is angle 2. And what we know about this is that angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, and we had our protractors, and we actually did some measurement where we had measured these two angles, and we found that, like I said, that this was 180. So just something to think about is these two angles, as we know they're supplemental, that they add up to 180. So let's continue here. So I'm going to erase my marks here. You keep yours. So for instance, let's make this angle, let's say 2x plus 10. And we're going to make this angle over here 3x plus 8. Now once again, it's the same setup as we've talked about before. We know that this angle plus this angle, when they're added together, we know that they are 180. So what we want to do is we want to set up an algebraic equation in order to solve the geometry of these two angles. And so what we don't know is the value of x currently. So we're going to do that. So we're going to say 2x plus 10 plus 3x plus 8 is equal to 180. So we know that they're supplemental, so we know they add up to 180. And so in order to solve for x, we're going to combine our like terms. So 2x and 3x, they have the same variable and the same exponent. So we add the coefficients. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 10 plus 8 is 18, is equal to 180. Now, solving for this, we're going to subtract 18 to both sides. And by subtracting 18, we're going to get 5x is equal to, let's see, 180 minus 18, I get is 162. And then solving for x, we're going to divide by 5. So dividing by 5, my final answer for x is equal to 32.4. Now, we've been able to solve for x, but now we don't know the exact amount or the value of the angle. So what we want to do is put this value of 32.4 back in where we see x, and that will enable us to solve for that in particular angle. So for instance on this one, so that is 2 times x, so 2 times 32.4. And then multiply, and then add that. Once you multiply, then we're going to add 10. So we're going to follow those PEMDAS rules, right? PEMDAS. And so 2 times 32.4 plus 10, and you should get 74.8 degrees for this angle right here. If we wanted to use, we could, instead of putting it back in for the x here, we could subtract this value from 180 and find that value of this angle. Or if we want to go ahead and put it back in, we can do that as well. So let's do that. Let's put it back in for that. So 3 times 32.4 plus 8 is equal to, so do your multiplication first. Once you multiply, you should get, and then you add your 8, you should get 105.2. We can check our work by adding 74.8 to 105.2 to see if that equals 180 degrees. And if we check our answer, we see that we do add up and get that. Now, we worked the complementary problem. And so now we want to look at one, we worked the supplementary problem. Now we want to look at one that is complementary. And what do we know about complementary? Well, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. So this, instead of this example that we just showed, this was 180. So we work it very, very similar to this one. So let's get rid of these lines here and let's create some new ones here. So let's see, clear, and let's just clear that the objects there. And we're going to add two more objects there. So we're going to add a line coming down and a line coming over. It should form a right angle. And then, a little off there. So there we go. We'll say that's even. And then we're just going to split this angle into two here. And so once again, we know that since this is 90 degrees, for this angle is 90 degrees, in order to find the values of these two angles, I can add these up. If this is angle 1 and angle 2, we know that it forms 90 degrees. So whatever 1 is plus angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. Well, once again, we can do this even using the algebra like we've practiced in previous grades. So I'm going to make this problem 5x, and I'm going to make this this angle here 6x. So this creates a different problem than we had before. So just like before, we know that this value plus this value is 180. So we can set and create an equation and solve for the value x in order to find the value of the angle. So 5x plus 6x is equal to 90. Oh, about almost made a mistake there. But yeah, it's equal to 90 because this is complementary. So in order to solve for x, we need to combine like terms. So 5x plus 6x is a total of 11x is equal to 90. Solving for x, we're going to divide by 11, which gives us x is equal to 8.18 is the value of x. We can then substitute this back into our problem here, into our angles. So 5 times 8.8 is going to give me 40. And let's see, let's look at this other one here. Okay, so if you use your calculator, you would have got 8.18, and we multiplied by 5, and so we should have got a total amount of 40.9 degrees for this one. And once again, we're going to put this value back in for this x value here in order to find the degree. If you didn't want to find this exact and put it back in, this is a good check. But you could have, since we know that these two add up to 90 degrees, we could add 40.9, subtract that from 90, and would get this angle here. So let's go ahead and substitute back in for x. And 6 times 8.8. Let's see what we get there. We should get let's see, 49.1. 49.1. And so we can see if we add these two together, 49.1 plus 40.9, we should get a total of 90 degrees. And once again, this is complementary and supplementary. So today, you guys will complete your assignments today. You'll do it online. You may use an iPad, so if you want to use your iPad, that's great. The practice problems will be on there. For anybody that's not able to get finished with it today in class, we will have those available to you tomorrow. Or Miss Lewis will have that on her desk as well. So any questions, feel free to text us, email us, call us, and we'll be glad to help. Hope you guys are having a good day. We're having a blast down here in Rome. Not really, but look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.